Question, what kind of bird do you want to be? No, say it with passion. What kind of bird do you want to be?
Eagle that's 100 and some odd feet in the air, and that eagle is flying around, and all of a sudden it looks down in the Atlantic Ocean and it sees its prey, it sees the fish, and all of a sudden, bam! All that eagle does is one time it brings out its wings. The next time it shows its face toward where it's going. It puts its head down and boom, it dives down. It doesn't look to the right, it doesn't look to the left, it doesn't look up, it doesn't look further down. It looks straight at its prey and it goes wow, straight down into the Atlantic Ocean. Straight down, eyes focused, arms out steady, the wind blowing, and bam! It scoops up its prey and it keeps on going. You gotta be like that, baby.
Storms appeal to eagles. The eagles become delighted as clouds start to form. They use the wind from the storm to propel themselves higher. Once they locate the storm's wind, they exploit the raging tempest to soar above the clouds. Meanwhile, all the other birds are hidden in the safety of the trees, giving the eagle a chance to fly and rest its wings. If you are set to achieve your dreams, you have to be ready to take risks.
We have a chance and an opportunity to change the world because nobody changes in good times. People only change in bad times. No one changes when they're comfortable. They change when they're uncomfortable. And eagles are high altitude birds. There are three types of birds. There are eagles, there are buzzards, and there are turkeys. Eagles are high altitude birds. They're regal. It's not arrogant, they're not pompous, but there's a certain regalness to an eagle. Then you've got another kind of bird. It's a buzzard. Buzzards love packs. Buzzards are low altitude birds. Buzzards are always stepping on your head to elevate themselves. Always have something negative to say about somebody. But the worst kind of bird is a turkey. Because the turkey's got wings and can't even fly. All they do is profile, translation, trying to be something they are not.
What distinguishes people who just hope for better results from those who take action? What differentiates wishful thinking from action and development from reality? Yes, life is complicated. There are many moving pieces that need to be understood. But I believe this aspect is straightforward. People who construct things in life are prepared to not just envision a reality that hasn't yet come to pass. However, they are aware that in a world of no, they must become the yes. They must have faith in their abilities to race toward the finish lines without being seen by anybody else. Nietzsche claimed that in order to give birth to a dancing star, one must still possess chaos inside oneself. And that is all that most others observe. You have to be the proverbial eagle amid regular pigeons, flying above everything. Most people adapt to what's happening. They don't innovate to alter things. The restrictive ideas that bind people to their one-dimensional reality are superseded by everyone and everything else. But more crucially, it indicates that you are able to perceive what others are unable to. You have access to things in this world that nobody else has a line of sight to. Nobody approaches you on the street, wraps their arm about you, and encourages you to pursue your dreams. You are going to do great things. Nobody expresses interest in such a business concept telling you that it's going to be a success. Next year, you're going to prosper. Or that they are confident in your fitness, or that the relationship you're pursuing will last forever. No. People only notice what is immediately in front of them and how it affects them and their environment. One's life. People are like pigeons, so you just have a few options. Do you agree that you take the leftovers and blend them in? You can eat the crumbs that are presented to you, or you can take a step back and admit that this is going to be difficult. This will hurt, and it will challenge me further than I've ever been challenged as a human. But you must know that you would get to share that vision of living above the clouds with people who don't stand in line and exchange. No, they turn themselves into the center of attention. Since the world has a way of guaranteeing that we get what we really desire, they change into what the future is going to be. Haven't you observed that eagles don't fly with mere pigeons, sparrows, ravens, or other little birds while they are flying at a high height? So avoiding anyone who has a limited perspective of the world, anyone who will drag you down. Greatness in any aspect of life is only possible for those who are ready to move ahead when the majority would retreat. So forge a bridge to something much bigger. It is possible that the majority of others will criticize you for wasting time, as this bridge wouldn't lead you anywhere. It's unimportant, pointless, or illogical. Good. It must be illogical to alter your life in the face of your surroundings. It is illogical to shake up the existing quo and declare that you're going to change the whole scene. However, these illogical steps give rise to the future. Consequently, when it seems as though everyone is against you and you are facing an uphill struggle, recognize that even if there are several reasons for which you can turn around, this is only a sign that you are in the right place at the right time. You have to be willing to welcome problems and use them to your advantage instead of being scared of them. Draw something new into life by swimming against the stream. If it were simple, it would already be done. Yet altering your life makes you the hidden engineer. So, forge that bridge both on days you want to and do not want to. When they presume you are all together, go irrational and start forging again. Yes, it's difficult, but it's worthwhile. And when tomorrow arrives and it is very different from your yesterday, you will see that you have changed, developed, and evolved. And when you turn around, you can barely recognize the person you were before. However, if you had paid attention to the chirping of the skeptics and cynics, it wouldn't have been possible. It won't, perhaps because you left for your house after hearing advice from outsiders to give up. No, it would only be possible if you stood above everything and recognized the world for what it was, instead of what others only viewed as nothing but the void. They observed you building your castles in the air with your head up in the clouds. You were always moving toward bigger things. You weren't required to persuade them. You had to persuade yourself to throw off the chains and fly. Abandon everything that used to hold you back. This is a discussion between you and the limits that lie ahead. It has nothing to do with anyone else. Haven't you heard how older eagles have weaker feathers that prevent them from flying as high and quickly as they should? This weakens an eagle, putting it at risk of death. So in such cases, the eagle retires to far-off mountains where it plucks off the frail feathers from its body, then breaks its claws and beaks on the rocks until it is entirely naked. After a very bloody and terrible process, it hides out until all of its feathers, claws, and beak have regrown. Following this, the eagle is able to emerge, soaring higher than before. So regardless of how challenging, you periodically need to let go of old habits. Anything that makes your lives harder or less valuable should and must be thrown out.